Hi guys, what's going on, and welcome back to another video on Conqueror's Blade. So, if you've been watching my channel for any length of time, you'll know I've always been a bit of a Paladin fan. But frankly, over the past couple of seasons, they've been a little bit crap. They've really sort of fallen out the meta, and haven't been a lot of good, particularly back from their dominance. They were such a good unit back in sort of Season 5, 6, and a little bit into 7 as well. And I really loved them. They were the unit that I took to every battle. I mean, you can go back and look. I did a ridiculous amount of videos on them in some sort of feeble attempt to justify continue using them. But they obviously fell off, and I have not been using them so much since. But with the new tier lock, at least we've had on the My Games version, or I think you've normally had it on Frontier. If you play on Frontier, you've had it for seasons, but it's new for us. It's kind of shifted the meta a little bit, because they've not got to contend against Iron Reapers, Madao, and other tier 5 units. They're sort of at their own tier, they're top tier. And so that kind of opened up the question of, can they actually now be a little bit more meta? Are they back to being a more useful unit? Because if nothing else, this skin is so awesome and it just fits the unit so perfectly and makes me want to use them. In terms of veterancy line, I've gone down the bottom line. I've not really focused so much on the healing line. They've obviously got a self-heal, and it heals yourself and nearby allies as well, but I'm all about that extra damage, and that's kind of what I've gone for with Indoctrines as well. Extra defenses, the extra piercing damage, a little bit of Ironside for extra defense, extra damage to units, and a little bit of extra piercing damage. You could very much throw something like a charge cooldown on them. Their charge is really quite meaty. It's one of the real better things about the unit, so it would certainly be viable to throw a nice little extra charge cooldown doctrine on them there as well. They've got other things like the Battle Prayer cooldown, which is the self-heal cooldown, but I don't feel like that's worth having on in my opinion. But anyway, it's not supposed to be a long, in-depth unit review. Let's just hop into some battles. Can we make them work now in Season 12 when they are top tier? So we'll kick things off on a little bit of Valley Fortress. Actually, kind of like this map, although I did just die on the sea point, so respawning, and I'm thinking that we were going to lose C, to be honest. We were under quite a lot of pressure, and sometimes what can happen on this map is that when C is about to go, you kind of try and stack it to keep it up, but you basically end up dying, losing C, and then you've got nothing basically to protect base. I don't know if it actually had quite got to that point. Had I gone down to help, maybe we could have helped hold C a little bit more. I'm not sure I necessarily made the right move. You can see me now sort of thinking, oh, maybe we should be going down and helping down this way. But they've captured the supply point already from this direction, and they're starting to push down that way. I was having a little bit of a look around to see if there's any opportunity, and just the most abysmal attempt at hitting the archer. What was going on there? But you can see by this point, it really is done. But yeah, not particularly pleased with myself there. That was not a great start. Didn't do a lot to help the team. So a little bit of a bad start with our Paladins, but not really anything to do with the unit. Anyway, with them dead, I've got to try and look for my opportunities. Got the unit in here, and I'm trying to decide where I think the enemy's going to push primarily. I do quite like using these Paladins sometimes on these over sections of the wall, because it tends to be quite narrow and you can catch units up there. But I was thinking that they might actually start to push up through that side gate. They seem to be pushing quite heavily that way. We didn't have that many friendly units there, and if they're going to start to push in that direction, you can see they're actually attacking the gate now, all longswords, which is slightly odd, then that could be the way they push in, and I could get a nice side flank on, get a little bit of damage in. So I start to push the unit sort of forwards, ready to go in if they make their push, but they destroy the gate, but they don't really apply any pressure. And that's kind of understandable. It's a pretty hard way to push in from that direction. Can be kind of hard to get any real damage in. You can hear those bagpipes blaring away in the background. But what I didn't notice was the enemies that came around behind us through the main gate. So we have to do a quick U-turn. I was thinking about pulling out the fight, but the berserkers actually go in, and after having already failed the team on C, I thought, right, come on, let's go. We lock the enemy hero down with my Lochaber, use the unit to get the damage on, go straight on with my Ironsides. We get 2 hero kills, flatten the enemy shield unit. The charge on these Paladins is so powerful, and when you're dealing with other tier 4 and tier 3 units, the charge is super dominant, and you can see how devastating it was against the enemy units there. So we push through, just clear out anything outside the gateway. So in that sort of situation, I think that's where the Paladins do really well. Small scale fights, not a huge sort of dominated fight. They can get the charge in, get the damage in, get the kills nice and easily. Anyway, so push onto the wall. This is one of my preferred places to actually fight because I like pushing along here quite a lot. Sometimes they've actually destroyed the drops already. We can get some pretty good drops on that one. We pull him on the floor, use the unit, push it over, trying to X and V it. He manages to get a bit of CC immunity, but push the unit on, X, V, and he dies really almost instantly. Paladins really effective at killing heroes when you X and V them, and that's the key to this unit, X and V. This poor Fortebraccio player just wasn't paying quite enough attention. Push the unit in with X, turn them on with V, and they just completely flattened the whole unit. I didn't even need to do any extra X and V there because, well, those Fortebraccios just died. Small player did a slightly annoying job of getting in, doing a little bit of damage, but not really killing any of the unit. So you can see how when you get them in, the damage on this unit is really good. I mean, anything will kill Fortebraccios when they're on top of them, but like that, you see how effective the unit can be with the amount of damage they can do. So they have good with X and V, and they've got really good charge. Traditionally, their weakness has always been rear attacks, really. When they get attacked from behind, they really kind of go down rather quickly. But if you can sort of keep enemy heroes under control, something that the Poleaxe actually does quite well because it has an exponential amount of CC compared to other heroes, then actually they can really work quite well. I was having another little bit of a look on the wall here, seeing if we can basically just do another lap, but there's already someone up there. I had a quick look on the tactical map, and there's no enemy units really on that section of wall, so I didn't think there was really a lot of point in sort of going around that way. Seemed a little bit of a pointless route to go. Come back round to the main base. We've got an enemy maul here trying to cause us a little bit of trouble. Get an enemy hero coming from behind. Try and do basically my same X and V. We don't get the kill, but we do get the bulk of the damage. Push back round, earning my name, Evo, Slayer of Peasants, as we push in and just slaughter these poor units of Martellatori. They did not last very well. And then kind of look for the next opportunity. They're going to start to push in on the main base here in a little bit. And that's going to be the way I end up going. I come back over to this set of wall stairs thinking, oh, you know, maybe we can squeeze up here a little bit. But we end up turning back around and coming back because they're actually starting to push up from the other side. You can see them coming up there now. I just decide I want to get to this side really, so I'll get a little bit of a side angle on. Try and get clear of the Palace Guard charge, which we do. Wait till them land in. I'm assuming they're going to brace here at this point. You unfortunately get knocked down a lot by that enemy longsword. He did a fantastic job with his ultimate. And so now we really have to be making use of our X and V. You see I'm controlling the unit, pushing them, using X, pushing them, using X. Do forget to activate my iron sides, which is annoying. But actually we did a really effective job. That was a unit of Palace Guards. Went down almost like butter. Really rather effective. Using X and V is so important in this sort of stuff. Push around the corner, starting to get pressured by enemy heroes on point. Decide that really I've got to start to make my move in here. Wasn't expecting to come out of this alive. Got enemy shields, enemy axe raiders, a lot of enemy other units. My charge is on cooldown. I'm Xing and Ving them. Get myself a hero kill. Get our charge off cooldown. Manage to get our charge to pop off without getting too interrupted. Get a good chunk of damage against those enemy Imperial shields. And I'm now just using my hero to try and control the enemy heroes, because that's what's really going to kill my unit. Against enemy units, the Paladins are going to do pretty well because they get an active block. You can see how well they're doing, picking up more hero kills. Just absolutely slaughtering. Have taken some damage, but it gives us enough to push through. And I want to say, effectively save that final base cap. I think that the Paladins really carried a lot of weight on that final point there. Really, really damaging. As long as you can get that charge off, you can do a lot of damage against enemy units. We finally get finished off, caught out by a little bit of a trebuchet, getting a little bit cocky, trying to push ourselves out of the gateway. So I suppose we did probably deserve that. But it kind of shows a little bit what the unit can do now. In this tier, it seems to function really quite well. It feels a little bit like its old self. I think once we start to get tier 5 units, Iron Reapers and stuff introduced back into the game, I think they'll start to drop off again. I just don't think it serves as well in that meta compared to other tier 4 units which perform relatively well against Golden Era units. So I think the Paladins struggle more than most. But other than that, it's been really fun to play them again. So anyway, hopefully you enjoyed the video. If you did, do let me know what you think in the comments down below. Of course, subscribe to the channel for more Conqueror's Blade content. Thanks for watching, guys. I'll see you all on the next one.